Gosh, Julia, I can't believe it's been several months and we're finally back on the podcast.
I know. I'm trying to think of when we did our last one. It's been way too long.
December.
Wow.
It's been so long. So welcome back, everyone. We're excited to be back. We did have to go on to a hiatus because of a lot of psychopaths that we were dealing with. And that's just putting it lightly and nicely. But it created such a safety concern for me and my family and Julia and her family that we were being stalked, and it became a huge, actual, literal safety risk. When we traveled to go to the churches in different states and even in different countries, we were attacked, and we'll keep it as PC as possible, but bomb threats were called in. Security had to rush us out for our own safety. And that really caused us to shut down because we never knew where the threats were coming from. Did I miss anything with that, Julia? Oh my God, it's been so insane. It's been so insane.
The only thing, newspaper articles were even written.
They even wrote newspaper articles about us and American Frontline Nurses, and we were this dangerous, radical group of apparently nurses that like to help low-income people not die.
Keep them home with their families.
Keep them home with their families, get them off of ventilators, teach them how to manage their diabetes, protect children. It's just, it was just insane what was going on. So we want to kind of catch everybody up and tell everyone what was going down with all of that, because we finally figured out who it was and what was going on. And if you get a chance, comment where you're from, because we want to reconnect with our audience again. We really did miss everybody, but for safety reasons, we had to step back because we had to focus on protecting our families. So for those of you who remember, there was this crazy guy on TikTok who was a nurse that's not even from this country, but apparently works in this country. And he was part of an organization called Team Halo. Now, Team Halo was a UN, United Nations verified initiative that gave nurses, doctors, scientists, things like that, preferential algorithm treatment on TikTok to combat quote unquote misinformation about the Rona vaccine and everything like that. Because remember, we were spreading propaganda and misinformation by listening to our patients when they were telling us that they were having neurological issues, that they were having cardiac issues, that they were having clotting issues, and that their lives were being destroyed by this medication that they were mandated to get. And because Julie and I went to Washington, D.C., and we spoke with Senator Ron Johnson, and we told everybody that remdesivir was killing people and this, gene therapy was killing people and children are starting to be affected, we were put on a list to be attacked. And we didn't know this was going on until, I think, Julia, you did a deep dive and you found the group. All the meanwhile, me and my children are running out of the house. We're having to call the police weekly. And you're like, I think I found the group that's targeting you.
Mm-hmm. And I found it literally through their Team Halo hashtag. It was so wild that how we found it, because we were sent videos about these people making videos about Nicole and American Frontline Nurses and, plastering our faces for our website up. That's why everything had to come down off the website to protect everybody. And it was just me doing my due diligence of what I do on the internet on a daily basis. And we found them. And it's absolutely crazy. Some of the stuff is still up, but a lot of it is gone. In fact, they've taken they've actually taken down the Team Halo website. If you go to Team Halo now, it comes up that site can't be reached. And that, I believe, was at the end of July or the end of June. Nicole, it's been a month or two since the website went down.
Yes. So the thing is with Team Halo, they're all about volunteer scientists and healthcare professionals from around the world working to end this pandemic by contributing our time and to address concerns to public health misinformation. And they're funded by the United Nations Verified Initiative, Purpose, the Vaccine Confidence Project, University of London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, Luminate, and Capgemini. And just so you guys know, Capgemini is a what are they? Military contractors. They build
government contracts.
They build bombs and guns, and they're funding quote unquote misinformation. And of course, the Rockefeller Foundation. Now it's really interesting. So they got put on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, and they were given preferential algorithm treatment. So they blew up. They became quote unquote celebrities. And Melissa Fleming from the United Nations even said that's what they did. And
they partnered with
yeah. And we have to go to what's called the Wayback Machine to look at their websites, but let's show you some of these crazies that targeted. And the worst part is that they're going by aliases. They're defrauding the public by saying that their name is one name and that's not what they're licensed under, which is fraud. And another worst thing about this is that when you go to their social medias, they promote sorryantivaxxer.com, which just is people death and harm. And I'm just like, what kind of healthcare professionals are you that you wish death and harm upon people? You can go to their social medias and see like what they've been posting. And it's just really just sad and ultimately pathetic what has happened to healthcare. And you know what the interesting part is about this is that the people that were doing the attacking were all American and Canadian healthcare professionals. The ones from the Middle East didn't want anything, they just did their job, which I will respect the fact that if you want to promote a vaccine, that's on you. But I mean, and then they got upset when we figured out what they were doing, and then they acted like victims. And these people
they played the victim card well.
They played very well, very, very well. I mean, they're all part of the rainbow like mafia, like rainbow army. They want to trans the kids. They want to take away parental rights. The ones that were attacking us, they have a profile, and it's typically women with children who are married and conservative. And they targeted like us, and we've discovered hundreds of other nurses and doctors. So I don't think it's been indexed enough. But then Team Halo, after we exposed them and what they were doing, we met with a reporter named Katie Spence. And do you want to talk about Katie from the Epoch's Time? Because she actually reached out to you and she didn't know anything about this. She contacted you on something completely different.
She contacted me through FLCCC because I'm on their, as I forget how they have it. I don't remember what they say it is. Not an affiliate, but it's some, if you need help, basically. And I've been on there since they started. And she reached out to me because she was asking about ivermectin prescriptions and if I knew of anyone that was having issues getting prescriptions filled. And she was writing an article about that. And so I, working with the doctors that we work with and working with the amount of stuff we had done for the, 2 years prior, when she reached out to us, or reached out to me, I'm like, absolutely. I've got a whole bunch of people you can talk to. And we've been working with her basically for almost a year. I want to say December of last year. So 9 months. And she's written numerous articles. She's been digging deep into everything with Team Halo. And I want to say she's reached out to them numerous times and never got any responses from anyone.
So since we talked with Katie and we exposed what Team Halo was doing, because they literally do in their videos hashtag Team Halo when they were posting pictures of other people's children and putting up their work addresses and putting up their licensing addresses and telling people to go report them to the medical boards and nursing boards, they kicked off a bunch of their people, including the two main trolls that were attacking me. And from there, they just shut down the organization completely. That's why the website is down, teamhalo.org. If you go there, it's down. Their socials are still up, but their website is down. And we believe that they've been disbanded because that they ran such amok and were such an embarrassment to, quote unquote, their cause, that it was just easier and better to scrap the organization completely. Because these healthcare professionals were such an embarrassment. I mean, this is my opinion on it. I mean, I would be embarrassed if those were my nurses and my doctors out there telling people to go stalk women and children and go into Facebook groups and stalk the women that are in there asking for support for their medically needy autistic child and make fun of them. You know, they're posting TikTok videos making fun of vaccine injured people. And I'm just like, where's your compassion? In the meantime, we're quacks because we're in field hospitals. We went to Puerto Rico and we went, we had to get, like, security had to escort us out of the University of Puerto Rico because a bomb threat got called in. And like the churches, like, were on lockdown just to have us there to teach people how to manage diabetes. It was absurd what was going on with these people. So we had to stop advertising what we were doing. But that led into the next organization that we figured out, and they're called Shots Heard Around the World, and they are equally a disturbing group. And they're let's see,
they're actually, a lot of the members of Shots Heard are Team Halo members as well.
So Shots Heard Around the World, if you stand up for vaccine science, we'll stand up for you. Shots Heard is a rapid response digital cavalry dedicated to protecting the online safety of healthcare providers and practices. Sign up to defend vaccine advocates. So they have a Shots Heard Around the World toolkit, and it actually is their playbook on how they're going to attack you. So that's something that I encourage everyone to, like, download and read it, because it's a play-by-play exactly what they're going to do. Alert the Shots Heard Cavalry. Are you facing an online attack from an anti-vaxxer? And so you can actually click on this link, put all this information in, and then they will send their people to go and attack the post, report you to your board, and get you deplatformed. They got me deplatformed off Twitter how many times? Like, I mean, how many times?
Oh, gosh. At least 3 or 4 times, if not more.
Yeah. And so that's why we really encourage everyone to sign up for our mailing list on our website. Or if you're watching this on Instagram or anything like that, you can sign up through our Connect link. But sign up right here, because this is how we're going to keep in touch with you, because they keep attempting to deplatform people. But if you go to Shots Heard Around the World, and you can join their private Facebook group where they coordinate their attacks. And we have access to this group. There are several people in it that have been feeding us information, and they have attacked mothers. They have attacked children. They go into Facebook groups that where women get support from other women that have medically needy children. They go by many different names, these Facebook groups, because, they go state by state, and they go in there and then they screenshot it, and then they send stuff to sorryantivaxxer.com, and they laugh about children dying, saying, oh, well, maybe if you vaccinated your kid, they wouldn't have died. And I'm like, the child didn't even die from whatever they weren't vaccinated for. And their doctor said that they can't be vaccinated because they were so medically compromised. Like, they died from, like, sepsis or something from a feeding tube. And they would just laugh and make fun of these people. They've taken down small businesses because they wouldn't comply in early 2020 and 2021. And if you guys want to see more about what this group is doing, I really encourage you to sign up for my Substack called Dark Influence. And it tells you right here, like we're chronicling the journey of what they're doing from labs to likes. This is where Melissa Fleming was talking about creating Team Halo. And we've got this wonderful gentleman, and I mean that very, very sarcastically, how he went and started all of these problems for me where these psychopaths started to attack me. And there's like an actual digital record. And then they started tagging other nurse influencers so they could all make as much money as doctors. And this led us into Shots Heard Around the World. And here's the interesting part about Shots Heard Around the World is they are a nonprofit. So they are ran by the Public Good Project, which is a nonprofit that receives several $1 million a year. And the executive director of the Public Good Project makes well over $100,000 a year as a nonprofit executive director. Now, mind you, Julia and I am the executive director. Julia is the director of advocacy services. We make zero money from American Frontline Nurses, a 501c3 nonprofit. 100% goes back to patients, programs, and services. And Julie and I, we have regular jobs, like regular jobs outside of nursing. And they are profitizing off the nonprofit sector in order to attack and delicense healthcare professionals. And they have been manipulating social media in order to do that. And so Shots Heard Around the World was started by 2 pediatricians. And apparently they were attacked by quote unquote anti-vaxxers, which, mind you, this was several years ago and had nothing to do with Julia, I, or American Frontline Nurses.com, like at all. We didn't even know. But the group was started in 2019, long before my viral video, long before any of this. And the worst part is the people that are in these groups are healthcare professionals and also pharmaceutical like agents. So they have Merck employees in there. They have Pfizer employees in there.
County employees in there.
Yeah, Immunize Nevada is in there, and they also play a part in stalking me. So, and just in case anyone was confused to say, oh, maybe Joe Smizer and the Public Good Project didn't know what was going on in their Facebook group, we made sure to put up because guys, we're not going to say anything we don't have receipts for. We have Megan Barber, member of Shots Heard Around the World since 2022, and she is managing editor at the Public Good Project. So she's in the group. She knows exactly what's going on. We have Jess Sykes. Now, mind you, he's not a healthcare professional. He's a professional ballerina, or I guess ballerino, if we're using the appropriate gender terms. I don't know what his preferred pronouns are. He is admin of Shots Heard Around the World since July 20th, 2022.
And he has no medical training.
No medical training whatsoever. And Joe Smizer's in this group as well. I think we ended up with 2 screenshots of Megan Barber here. We'll have to edit it and put Joe Smizer in there. But then this whole chaos and everything led to us discovering a very, very dark path of how the CDC, Department of Defense, who were some of the other groups in it? Vaccine Confidence Project. They were all using social media and influencers to manipulate the COVID narrative and to get as many people to get the vax as possible. And then from there, I wrote a book called Dark Influence. And it actually comes out October 31st. It's coming out in the Kindle edition first, and then it'll come out in paperback and hardback. And it's available on Amazon. So it's going to chronicle the whole journey and everything that we found, all the way from the fake Twitter doctors that were put up that had like hundreds of thousands of followers that weren't real people. And what were some of the other situations we found? We followed the money. We discovered that Webionize Nevada was involved with shots and how the state of Nevada paid, I think it was like $55,000 to the CDC Foundation, which then gave money to the Public Good Project to stalk and dock me. Yeah, guys, it goes really deep. They also partnered with news articles like Vice to attack people as well. And that's where that wonderful article from David Gilbert came out. So, I mean, you when you follow the money, it's easy.
And we've got, I can't even explain the amount of information we've got for receipts for all of this.
It's like, it's so much. We're having a hard time organizing the book in chronological order because it's like all over like a web of connections. Hold on, my kids are screaming at me.
And we've got multiple people helping, and it's absolutely unreal the amount of stuff that has been collected on all of this. And Dr. Mary Talley Bowden is one of their victims, and she has, I mean, just the amount of attacks that just her herself has endured. We've been working with her, multiple different doctors that have been attacked. It's just absolutely insane. It's not just the nurses that are being attacked, but it is literally anyone that speaks out against the narrative, they're going after. And I mean, they are, Gina, you're right. These people are disgusting. They're absolutely disgusting. And what they're portraying online, all of their bios will say, you know, my views, my own, something like that, you know, not my opinion, you know, no opinion of my employer. They all have similar bios. They all act the same online. But my question, being a nurse, is if you're acting that way on social media, how are you acting when you have a patient in front of you? And that patient in front of you, it, you know, because we know they're tracking this stuff in our healthcare records, whether you've gotten it or not. And if it says that you don't have it, how are they going to treat you? They're going to treat you the same way that they're treating all these doctors and nurses. You're not going to get the care, in my opinion, that you deserve. And we've seen it. We've seen people say that they're not going to do things. It's absolutely sickening what they're doing and what they're saying.
We have the screenshots that literally say they withheld care from people because they weren't vaccinated, and that they hope that they died. They were making fun of a child that one of the nurses didn't pay attention to in the ICU, and the child like almost died, and they had to resuscitate the child. And it was just like, but the child had Down syndrome, so it was okay. No one's going to notice the mental deficits from the lack of oxygen. Remember that? That was horrific. And so I really encourage all of you guys to follow our Substack, Dark Influence. It's completely free. We are not gatekeeping any information on this. And I'm going to post the link right now. I think we lost Julia. If we talk too much, what ends up happening is our internet will shut down. So you can sign up for my Substack, Dark Influence. If you do want to pay for a subscription, it's like $5 a month, and 100% of those proceeds go to American Frontline Nurses, which is a nonprofit, so you can actually write it off on your taxes. But it's just insane what we have discovered. And here's one of our articles right here. The United Nations I-Verified initiative. We talk about Dr. Hotez and the RFK Jr. Hey.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, what?
I give Ella a pink juice, and I give it blue. I get a purple. I get a purple juice on myself.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
I got up there on myself.
Okay, can you head into the playroom?
Sir.
Okay. Sorry, Jules. Let me ask you back in here. We also talked about Project Night Fury. Do you know that the FBI paid thousands of dollars to survey your social media for misinformation? Project Night Fury, Babblex, and the Disinformation Governance Board. So guys, we have all this information. This is how we're getting out to you. We're behind on a couple of articles on that, just because we have to like fact check ourselves, and someone has to double check my grammar because English was not my first language. And so that led us into our next big venture to help people and help the frontliners and help our followers. and things like that. Do you want to talk about that venture?
Yeah, with all of the stress that we've been under and our nurses have been under, we've been trying different ways to combat the stress with different, supplements and different things. And everything that we were trying was super expensive. It was, not working in healthcare anymore. We don't have the income that we once had. And we decided to formulate our own supplements that we found a way to do it. And so it took us a while, but we took the bull by the horns and decided that we're going to.
Yeah, this was really hard. So Julia and I actually now work in business. So, we do use nursing knowledge, but we've exited the matrix and we work on the business aspect. So we, like, with my mental health just deteriorating because we're getting all these threats, I'm worried about people breaking into my home. Like, my mental health deteriorated. And when I went to see my doctor, the first thing that they want to prescribe is antidepressants for a chemical imbalance in your brain that they can't measure. And they want to drug you with Xanax. And I'm like, I don't need Xanax. Like, I tried, like, I was in such a bad place mentally that I did. I'm like, I'll take the antidepressants. So they give me the antidepressants, and the only thing I can do is stare at the ceiling and drool, practically. I'm like, I'm not present for my children. I'm definitely not defending my home if anything happens, because I'm worked out of my mind. And I'm like, there has to be a better way. And then Julia being my support person here. So I've got my husband and Julia, propping us up. And then people start to, like, stalk her home where she lives. And then someone killed her cat. Somebody killed my dog. And I'm just like, we were on the fucking breaking point. And we're searching and we're researching and we're looking for something else that can support us and our mental health and our mood and our energy while we're being attacked. And we came across nootropic mushrooms. So these are not your magic mushrooms that you get like a hallucinogenic trip on. These are ones that actually help you with your energy. They help you with mental clarity. They help support your mood. And they were such a huge, like benefit to us, but we were spending so much money on them that I'm like, there's got to be a better way to have, American manufacturing, American jobs, American warehouses for our American following. And yes, we can ship to like Canada and Mexico and stuff like that, but it's like, let's bring it home to America. And we created Frontline Defense supplements, and nootropic mushrooms were the first part that we brought on. And it's in our collection called Attention Focus Calm. And my kids, guys, are calling me. You know that they're going to while out while I'm on the podcast. Go ahead, Julia.
The mushroom gummies are incredible. They are on our kitchen counter every day. And my husband and I both. We both were like, all right, can we have more than two?
Right?
Serving size. They are so, so good. And there's so many benefits to like lion's mane. If you've dove down the rabbit hole like we have with these mushrooms, the blends that we have are outstanding.
So I really recommend the gummies. That's this one right here. They taste super delicious, but I try and do low sugar. So then that led us to creating the Big 10 Super Complex. Sorry, I'm showing my gummies.
I had mine for breakfast this morning.
Yeah, I didn't, because I like left for work at like 2 a.m. But if you don't want a capsule form, you can get it in the powder. And I like to add these to my protein shakes. And it's right there. Or if you want to get, a particular type of mushroom, we've got cordyceps, we've got reishi, lion's mane, ashwagandha. And another great thing too is we were introduced to 5-HTP, which breaks down and creates more serotonin. So, for that chemical imbalance in your brain that they can't measure, but most of your serotonin is actually made in your gut. So there's that right there. And then if you guys haven't, that our thing is caffeinate and advocate, because as nurses, we do a lot of coffee. So we created a mushroom coffee blend that actually is organic, but the USDA organic, to get the seal, they wanted us to pay $20,000. And I'm like, why? Yeah. And I'm like, why, when like you said, like we're buying organic ingredients and we're putting it in, like, why can't that just transfer over? It's like, oh no, it's a second inspection process. And I'm like, I am not spending that kind of money. We'll just tell our people we're not supporting the government. So we made what's called the Brain Brew, and it's coffee. It's organic coffee, and it's got the nootropic mushroom powders in it. And so
Oh, it cut out a little bit.
Oh, the Keurig.
Oh yeah, with the Keurig, we don't use the little pods, the little plastic pods. We use the little refillable Keurig, and it does not. I think it's because of the fine grain of the coffee. It does, my Keurig, and I don't know if it would be someone else's Keurig, but my Keurig does not like that coffee. So I have to do either a French press or do a percolator or do a regular coffee pot for it. I don't know if it's just because of our model. It would work fine in an espresso machine where you have the little cup part. But in my Keurig, at least, it does not like it. Nicole, have you tried it in your Keurig?
I haven't, because you said not to use it in the Keurig. Sorry, my children were breaking into the cookies.
No.
Now they're going to cry because they can't have cookies for dinner. I haven't, but I will definitely try it in my espresso machine.
Yeah, I think that, or a French press, something like that, the percolator.
Yeah, or your regular coffee maker. It's just it's just too fine though for your Keurig and the reusable pod. We also have these like super great Bershaka,
the truffles.
The truffles,
God,
which are good. They're super good. I'm not going to keep stuffing my face with them. But I like to take those before bed when I need like a sweet treat. And it's really low in sugar. But we also have the nootropic brain formula, which is all the B vitamins that you need. So just amazing, amazing stuff that we've got. We also have another, like a regular coffee line, which is just like organic coffee. There's hemp, there's the Manuka. We also have these things called Cranberry Bliss Energy Strips. And these are really great for people who need a little bit of caffeine pick-me-up, but they don't want to drink energy drinks. Really great response with these with the fire departments, police officers, nurses. And this is the new mommy helper. Like, you just need a little bit of caffeine, but you don't need a full coffee. And we've got the Restore, Protect, Defend line, which is like your basic vitamins. We've got, this is our newest one, the Good Stuff, which has literally all the good stuff in it that you could possibly want. We've got Vino Vitality, which is resveratrol, the red portion of the wine that makes it healthy. We have melatonin gummies, vitamin D, elderberry, and vitamin C. The multivitamin gummy, my husband takes this one. We also have sleep strips, which is 1 milligram of melatonin. Your probiotic, and for those of you who need it, hangover strips. These are really great for bachelorette parties and stuff like that. Digestive enzymes. And so Julie and I have just been working our butts off creating all of this stuff, and it's had great responses from all the frontline workers. We also have the Fit Active Strong line, which is like whey protein. We've got a parasite and heavy metal detox formula. We've got fiber, fusillium maca, horny goatweed, creatinine. We've got a testosterone support supplement, which like has been really helping my husband with energy, because men generate like part of their energy from testosterone. So you want to support that as much as possible. We've got our keto blend, which has helped me lose 20 pounds so far with dietary changes. And we have our lovely Radiant and Glowing collection, which has been beneficial like a lot. So we've got collagen creamer and vanilla, your hair, skin, and nails complex, CoQ10 and collagen gummies, which I was just like snacking on. So because of Team Halo and everything like that, it started us off with these nootropic gummies, and then we just grew the brand into all these supplements that we knew people would love. And if you use code, let me see, I'll put it up right here. Use code Frontline for 10% off. I'll scroll down at the bottom. And if you sign up for one of the subscriptions where it comes to you monthly, it'll be 15% off.
Mom,
What, buddy?
was it on?
You want to put that watch on?
Yeah.
Can we see? Sorry, guys. We have to put the Paw Patrol watch on.
Yeah. Gina Marie was asking how the coffee tastes. I absolutely love it. My husband loves it. He's been, even before we had this, he was adding just a regular mushroom blend that I had gotten, I think at Sprouts or somewhere. I forget where I got it. He was adding that to his coffee. So now we don't have to do that because we have it in the coffee already, and it tastes phenomenal. The French press, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Gina Marie says, my daughter is taking real mushrooms. They have helped her so much with focusing and anxiety. She's now taking supplements. Oh, that's so wonderful. We'll have to send you a coupon code so you can try some for your daughter, Gina. But yeah, it really did help. And we noticed that it's helping a lot of people with COVID long haulers, like legitimate COVID long haulers, with their foggy brain. If you have mom brain, it also helps too. Like Julie and I had, on top of severe toxic stress and psychological distress, we also had mom brain. So, I mean, that's what we've been up to, guys. And so we really encourage everyone to sign up for Dark Influence Substack and check out our full line of supplements at frontlinedefensesupplements.com, and you can use code Frontline for 10% off. Yeah, and that was just we just wanted to reintroduce you to everything that we were doing. Next episode, so next Tuesday, we're going to talk about the Eris variant, the spooky new variant that they are coming out with. And the FLCCC protocol, and the fact that the protocol still works, ivermectin still works, hydroxychloroquine still works. And so we're going to do some re-education on that and get everyone prepared and ready for a long winter of death and disease. I'm never not going to quote that. Never not going to quote that.
And it's just amazing to me what we're still seeing happening 3.5 years into this. It's just absolutely crazy what the propaganda and all the stuff that they're pushing.
Yeah, I have people contacting me saying like, hey, do masks really work? Like, what's going on? Like, literally, do you know how many people I've been fit testing for respirators that I have the damn cleaning wipes on my desk? It's absurd. So, I mean, we've been doing a lot of respirator training, a lot of N95 training. I mean, we'll have to do a whole episode just on masks, because there's been these TikTok nurses keep saying to use KN95 masks, and those are actually dangerous because of the high plastic content that goes into your lungs, as well as the very low filtration rate. Because K stands for Korea, and it's not 100% particulate matter. So actually only 35%. OSHA even told everyone about that. So I don't know why these TikTok nurses are lying to people. Lord.
It's scary. It's scary in the amount of questions that we still get about the masks and where to get things. So we need to do some more re-education on everything, which is what we'll work on next week.
Yeah. So if you folks have any questions that you want answered, anything that you're confused on, just leave it in the comment section below, and we will incorporate it into next week's episode. Anything else, Julia? My kids are wiling out. I think they got into the cookies.
I think we're good. I know we're processing pears today, so it's been a crazy day.
I'm jealous. My pears are not ready. Okay, guys, then we are going to head off. Thank you everyone for joining us again. And it's so great to see we'll see all of you guys again, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Alrighty. Have a good
Bye.
week. Bye.